Hi, this is Stephen Brower from Raritan Valley Community College. This is for CSIT 217 operating systems for the spring 2021 semester. And this course overview is for those that have not used Canvas before. Well, those that haven't used Canvas before. Well, first, let me get the Canvas. Lion's Den is something you need to get into first. You probably use Lion's Den for signing up for courses. That's probably how you did register for this. Although there is an app, I do believe on the computer that the full screen experience is a little bit easier to get around than it would be on the app. But I'm just going to demo here on the on my laptop. So log into Lion's Den. Now, your view when you first get into Lion's Den might be a little bit different than mine. Since I'm a faculty member, I do have different sets of tiles, but you should have one somewhere that is Canvas. And so when you're logged into Lion's Den and then you click on that tile, well, hopefully you don't get that error message that I just got. The last video I did, I was in student view, and from student view, I can't go directly into Canvas. I have to be within the course. So I got out of that. Your screen may look a little bit different when you come in terms of the announcements that are here. I mean, you guys do have the student announcement. I would have the instructor announcement. You guys probably haven't been invited to this course as a teacher the way I have. But somewhere down the list, so if I scroll down, then you should have a tile for, here we go, Spring 2021 operating systems. And so let me click on that. By the way, this video, I'm giving you what would happen in this classroom, which is a total train wreck. So nothing is different. Okay. Hang on one second. Okay, now I'm back in student view, and having clicked on the tile for the course, this is sort of the home page for our course, and I set it up that it would be the modules. Now the idea is that this long list here is the entire semester chronologically. So I have it in terms of the chapters that we're going to be working on, and then there are some other sections for things like, well, the exam and spring break, woohoo! And it's a very long scroll going all the way through it, but it's one way to get to all of the material for the course. So the slides, the assignments, it's one way to get there. And if you're drilling down into various portions of the course, if you click back at this part right here, which is our course number, it'll take you back home, which is the modules list. Now on the right-hand side, if your screen is wide enough, would be a list of items to do, and this would be sort of the things that are coming up. So introductions is January 21st, and then January 28th, there's a Chapter 1 discussion, homework Chapter 1, lab Chapter 1. So on the right-hand side, you should see a to-do list. If you don't see the to-do list on the right-hand side, or you're trying to go to a specific assignment, one thing you can do is do the syllabus on the left-hand side. Speaking of syllabus, let me go over there. And I want to point out some links at the top of the syllabus. So one is, well, if we were in the classroom, I would pass out a document the first day known as the syllabus. And this link here would bring up that syllabus. If you want to download it to your hard drive, you can. And what the syllabus file has is sort of all the policies, and also, it lists the book. So here's the ISBN for the book, and then it has a description in terms of what the course is, what the routine is, which I'll get to in a little bit, what everything is worth. And this is something that you should, sometimes scroll down and look at the items that are on here. The other link, that I have up here is this class schedule. And this is sort of a concise, and I'll download it and open it up here, sort of a concise view of the semester. So remember that first screen I went into, that was the module screen that seemed to scroll forever? Well, this only scrolls for 3 pages, and really 2.5 when you get down to it. So it's a concise view of the timing of the materials, so we can see, now it doesn't have links to the materials, but at least we can see the timing of the things, and we can see the items on the right-hand side. I have had some students in the past tell me they have printed this page on paper, and as they submit things, they would just do a check mark on the piece of paper as they submitted it. And also the other thing is, at a glance, they can look and see what's coming up ahead. That sometimes it's easier to, within this, glance ahead and we can see, oh, look, we have a midterm coming up on March 4th. Oh no, we have spring break coming up on March 11th. Woo! So it's whether or not you use this, that's going to be a personal preference, but I'm just pointing it out how some students have told me how they have used this in the past. Now, the other thing that this syllabus tab, and let me go back again. I am repeating myself, but remember, this was the default view when I first came in. So that from the default view when we first go in, on the left-hand side, the syllabus tab, that has at top the links to the syllabus, which has the policies, and the class schedule, which is this grid that has the timing of things. The other thing the syllabus has while I'm here is the just the items that are due. So this doesn't have slides. This doesn't have any informational pages. This would just be the assignments, and it's a chronological list from the start to the end. There is a jump to today button. Now, right now, I'm recording this video on January 12th. That's not going to help me today. But if it was February 12th, it would, jump to, to bring, well, probably bring this up in terms of the 12th. It probably, if it was February 12th, it would bring it here. So one way of accessing the items that are due is through the syllabus tab. So the syllabus tab has the policies and what's due. When you first go in on the right-hand side, the to-do would be what's due. And then if you scroll down this main part, the modules, then it was kind of mixed together. So it's kind of like the first week, the course overview, getting acclimated. There's an item due here. That's the introductions. And then we do chapter 1. This would be information. I'll bring this up in a second. Information about chapter 1. And then these would be the items that are due with chapter 1. So just scrolling throughout, what most weeks will have is a discussion, a lab, and a homework. And the first 8 weeks, there's 1 chapter per week. After that, we start doubling up and doing 2 chapters a week. And what we have here would be the slides for the chapters. Now, if you were printing out on paper, the 6 per page view, if you're printing out on paper, it's 6 slides per page, and it's something that it's small thumbnails. If you're just going to be viewing it on your own, then probably the 2 per page would be the one for viewing it straight on. And you can download it. This is sort of the view that's here. But if I do click this to download and then open this up so that it's in the browser, you can bring it up so it's you see basically a slide at a time. And so these would be the sort of the highlights of what's being covered in terms of the chapters. And in terms of advice that some people have asked for, what do you do? And sometimes the suggestion is you glance at the slides to see. Oh, I'm sorry. There's one more thing. Let me click on this thing, the overview. What some of the chapters have are videos. And so that really the first thing might be is, you look at the paragraph that's here, and it's going to vary from chapter to chapter how many videos there are. And the video, I may highlight just a handful of things about a particular chapter. So not necessarily everything, but just highlight something. And then some chapters, and let me pause for a second, and I'm just glancing ahead, a future chapter, chapter 3, has 1, 2, 3, 4 videos here. So some weeks, maybe it was a little long-winded, or there's multiple topics, and I do have a video on each one. And sometimes some of the videos are related to a lab that we will be working on. So it's going to vary from week to week how many videos that there are. And so possibly really the first thing might be is to look at the video. The second thing that might be is to glance at the slides and to see the topics that are there. Now, just to give you an alternate way of doing things, I've had students that said what they did is they opened the homework first, looked at the questions, and then dove into figure out where the answers were by looking at the slides. If that works for you, you can do that. That is another way to do it. So that it could be you look at the questions that the homework has, and then say, okay, if he's asking these 3 questions, those must be the 3 most important things. Now, where's the information on it? And go through it that way. There will be a separate video on submitting the first homework. Well, first of all, embedded in here in introductions is a video on doing the introduction. Embedded in homework chapter 1 is a video on doing the homework for chapter 1. The lab chapter 1, the process of submitting is the same as homework chapter 1. So once you do a homework, you can do any of the homeworks or you can do the labs. The research projects, the submission is going to be like the labs as well. So really those 2 videos will have the 2 different kinds of submissions that the course will have. I'm at 12 minutes, this thing will cut out at 15. So the only other thing I do want to point out, and this will be later in the semester, is about a week before the midterm exam, I'll have an information page that will be loaded up. And a week before the final exam, I'll have an information page that will be loaded up that will narrow down the topics that will be on the exam to give you a smaller set of items to look at. One thing that I should have pointed out, okay, is all the due dates for the semester are Thursdays. So one thing I do differently than other instructors is that I will have, and let me jump over here to the syllabus as well, is that all the assignments are due on Thursdays. So for example, if we look ahead, January 28th is the homework chapter 1 and lab chapter 1. If you are only going to be working on Fridays, then on Friday, January 22nd, you should do the work for Thursday, January 28th. And then Friday, January 29th, do the work for Thursday, February 4th. So you can do the work ahead of time, but the thing is the dates, they're not going to change. If I do push anything out, I'll push it out a whole week. Well, anyway, I'll leave it at that. But that's something I do differently than other teachers, where I treat it as if it's almost like a Thursday night course, except you actually can work on different days other than Thursday night. You just have to have things submitted by Thursday. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did, I'll create another video, but that might just be enough to get started, I hope.